So we have a 9-day rule here for absences. It's also in our agenda. And the 9-day rule is that you have 9 days excused or unexcused absences in a 9-week term that you can be out. At comprehensives, I think it's like 3 absences in an 18 weeks, where we have 18 absences in an 18-week. You could literally, and I do not encourage this, but the way we have it set up, students could miss a day a week and still be within their 9 at the end of a 9-week term. So that's a lot of absences. And we do it because we understand that, appointments and things happen with the baby and yourself, so you need more absences, and we understand that. But because of that, when you hit your 10th day, you lose credit unless you have an A in the class. And I'm okay with that because I think it's very fair the way we're setting it up, you have 9 days in a 9-week term. So when you hit the 10th day, it was decided through this committee we have called the Instructional Council. And the Instructional Council is made up from a teacher from every core area in the electives here at school. And an EA, educational assistant too. And what was happening in the Instructional Council deals with anything that involves instruction in the school. So we brought the attendance policy to the Instructional Council, and it was decided that the reason we made it the 9-day rule is because after the 9th day, the teachers felt that the students would not get the class content if they had more than 9 days. The teachers felt that what they needed to learn in that 9-week term, they would not if they had more than 9 days. So that's a real quick overview of our 9-day rule.
So lately it's been rash, and we can't diagnose rash, but if baby has a rash and it's in more than one area, then we send them home on what's called IA. So your absences are still okay, you're covered, and you can come and pick up your work from the front. And then baby can't come back for 7 days until rash is gone. Sometimes it's viral, sometimes it's a bacteria, so it's good to get baby checked out.
IA is a new policy put in place this year for students whose babies have to be sent home for a contagious disease. Their absences won't count against them. They're given 5 days usually to clear up whatever's going on. They're given their work so they can make up their work while they're at home, and their babies will not spread whatever's going on with them through the nurseries.
All students with children in daycare get this handbook, and they need to know that on page 14, beginning on page 14, are healthcare guidelines. Okay, and this explains things such as the Back to Sleep campaign, which is why our nursery ladies put the babies on their backs when they go down for nap, because it has cut the sudden infant death syndrome rate by over 50% since it started in the 1990s. So it's very important. Obviously, when babies are old enough to roll, they're going to change their own position, but when they're really little, we put them on their backs for that reason. You know the guidelines about diapering, that you must wear gloves, and you are responsible for changing your baby's diaper when you come in the morning and after you come back from lunch. And then the nursery staff are responsible for frequent changing, which they do, and they're very good. Hand washing, incredibly important. This is the biggest rule in this entire school. Wash your hands. More infections are spread by dirty hands than any other way, and that includes, never mind, we'll come back to that. Medicines. Medicines must not be left in diaper bags. It's a safety issue. They need to be brought to the health office and signed in on our little cards that we keep here. At the end of the day, we take the medicines back to the nurseries for the moms so they don't have to worry about leaving them. which they do. If they leave early, they gotta come in. Immunizations are required for state licensed child care centers, and we keep track. You'll get little notices from Amber or me if your child is not up to date. Now, illness. We have some things that we commonly exclude children for. They include excessive diarrhea, and the World Health Organization defines diarrhea as more than 10 water stools with very little substance in a day. Okay, this can dehydrate the baby, and so it can be dangerous, especially for really young kids. But even for older people, it's dangerous. Since we can't tell whether the diarrhea is being caused by medicine or food or a virus or bacteria, we have to exclude babies for the health of everyone. Okay. Fever. Our cutoff is 100.4. That is the equivalent of about 101 if we were doing an oral temperature, which we don't do on children the ages here, just because it's not practicable. And child must be free of fever for 24 hours before they return. If we think there are other signs of illness, then we will refer them to a doctor, and we give you a referral sheet which needs to come back to this office. Okay? Same thing with diarrhea. If we send a child home with diarrhea, they need to be free of diarrhea for 24 hours before they return. Vomiting, we're talking about projectile vomiting. Not just dribble out the water. That's spitting up when you just dribble out the mouth. Okay? And projectile vomiting, depending on what else is going on. So we check the temperature. If the child does not have a fever, if we suspect reflux, we'll send the baby to the doctor with a referral to get a diagnosis. Because there's no one in this building who has the licensure to diagnose. That includes me. I'm a nurse, not a nurse practitioner. That includes any of the other staff. We cannot diagnose. It's called practicing medicine without a license, if we do. So we suspect, and we can send referral, and then we really request the student's cooperation in bringing that referral back. So we have in writing what the doctor told them. Sometimes they use big words, and it's really hard to understand what they're saying. Eye infections, if we see a child who has really red eyes with a lot of drainage goo, we suspect an eye infection. Those are very contagious, and so we send them to the doctor with a referral. If they are diagnosed with an eye infection, they have to have 24 hours of treatment